on the Blue Diamond Extreme Duty 72-inch brush cutter. We're going to bring you guys along. Hope you enjoy. I already have the machine raised up on the fork extensions, as you can see, and I bought a secondary set of blades from Blue Diamond, and then I just keep one sharp set on the shelf at all times. You just dip these in a cold bucket of water and sharpen them, making sure not to change the temper on the steel. I'm not sure if these are hardened, but they may be. So I always keep them nice and cool while I'm grinding. I have our hydraulic lines set up in a loop. That way I can rotate the blade carrier by hand. And I have my 3/8 impact, 9/16 socket, 9/16 wrench. And this is the inspection cover, and I'm using the Harbor Freight of Awesomeness 1-inch impact with a 1 11/16 socket. That should be just about all the tools you need for this project. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Of course, the first thing you're going to want to tackle is opening up your inspection cover. Unfortunately, they put nuts on the bottom of these, so you can't just zip them out with a impact by itself. It's kind of frustrating. So kneel down, never getting underneath of the machine in case the hydraulics were to fail. Pull that out. Take care not to lose your serrated lock nut. You would want some kind of lock nut underneath, of course. There we go. Now we have that removed. Just set all that aside, nothing to it. Now, of course, you have to line up your blade carrier with the inspection hole, just like that. And now you can get your 1-inch impact on it. We're going to use our 1-inch impact, as I said earlier, 1 11/16 socket. The loud bang you heard, of course, was the blade hitting the ground. And Charlie said he was struggling to cut some grass, but honestly, this blade does not look bad at all. I'm gonna go ahead and change them since I'm here. And every single time that I change these, I always liberally apply anti-seize to these threads, because if that doesn't come off, you're gonna have a fun time. We now have our 4 bolts out, as you saw. Kind of want to inspect your threads, make sure everything is apropos. We have our sharp blades. These really do not look very bad. They are blunted on the tips, stuff like that. You're always hitting boulders and rocks with these, but I don't remember when I touched these up, but it wasn't too long ago. I have had these completely blunted off, like a 1/4 inch, just standing flat steel, and still using them, even though it's harder on the machine, takes longer, stuff like that. You do want to keep your blades sharp, but it's really handy when you have 2 sets laying around. I did want to mention there is a flat spot on these blade bolts. Of course, you can kind of only install this one way, but as you are installing it, you can turn it before it gets to this flat plane and then pull this up on the flat part of the anvil. So you do want to pay attention to how you install these and make sure they're up high enough before you start zipping them tight with your inch impact. Here you can see the flat anvil. I'm going to go ahead and install this bolt under the mower so you can see it. You want that baby slung all the way up before you start tightening, that way you don't have any problems. Anyone that has been with the channel for any amount of time knows that I am an anti-seize nut. I have that whole bolt just slathered in it, front, back, sides, middle, because I want that to come off when I'm out in the woods, got some barbed wire wrapped around, whatever, and I need to pull a blade or had a blade break, something like that. I want that thing to come off. So pick this stuff up. This is the Permatex equivalent. I've seen Loctite has some as well. Looks like part number is 80078. Worth its weight in gold. Highly recommend it. I've also heard people using axle grease. Also, I'm sure it works well. I just like this because it has the aluminum in it. This is where the job can become a little tedious. Gotta kind of install this. Hold it up while you get your nut on. That nut has some galled threads, so I'm going to turn the impact down to its very lowest setting and suck it up just a little bit. Everything appears to be going in correctly. I'm going to get a hammer and block that, make sure our bolt is still free. Yep, the bolt is still free, so we're going to go ahead and continue to suck it up. Okay, that looks good. Now I've turned the impact up, we're going to go ahead and cinch that puppy home. Having our first blade installed, we will go ahead and get started on the following 3. We have our inspection cover bolted back down, anti-seized every bolt. As you saw, we have the blade carrier all put back together, anti-seized every nut and bolt, of course, as per usual. The old blades are honestly not in too bad a shape, like I said, but we'll go ahead turn the nephews loose on sharpening those up. I'm going to go ahead, wrap up the video on the Blue Diamond brush cutter. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.